But let's get it in. Let's get it in. Let's get it in.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the live stream for this LEC slate breakdown. I will be going over all of the information you need to know about this LEC slate. Now, it is the playoffs, which means one game will be happening today, which is Rogue versus OG, which is actually the one I'm most interested in. And then it will be FNC versus Mad Lions. So, before I start, I just want to start off by saying thank you for everybody's support. Recently, we have skyrocketed as far as subscribers, and we've been getting a ton of patrons, and eternally grateful for everybody who has been showing their support. Also, we do have a new design that came out, a shirt design yesterday. I said I was going to release that by Friday. If you guys want to go check that out, I'll leave it up to you guys to go ahead and check that out. It is pretty awesome. So I ordered a shirt and I'll be wearing that sometime next week. Also, guys, last night was the LPL slate, and if you guys played it, or if you didn't, and if you live under a rock, then you don't know the fact that everything last night happened. There were so many upsets. It was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, like, literally, I think every single game resulted in an upset except for the V5 game, which a lot of people were on V5 because of the very, very low ownership. So here's what I have to say about playing League of Legends in general and really kind of leveraging yourself against the field. Also, if the live stream does freeze, because it seems to happen like right when I start, guys, just refresh your page. I promise I don't go down. It will show me when I go down, or if my connection loses this to the servers of YouTube. Also, guys, how's everybody doing today? Go ahead and comment in the chat if you guys are having a great day. It is Friday. Thank goodness for the weekend. Okay, so we get to stay quarantined. We get to watch League of Legends all weekend, or any kind of DFS contest. I'm going to get back on track here. So I want to talk about leveraging, because leveraging in League of Legends, and anytime you're really stacking teams, so baseball, even in sometimes in NBA for football too, what you guys have to really consider is the contest that you are playing. and how you're going to attack the slates. Because last night, even though there were so many upsets, you guys should have made money. And the reason is because with the smaller GPP contests, let's just hypothetically saying you're playing GPPs. For cash, you shouldn't have cashed. If you didn't cash in cash double up contests, then you probably played the slate correctly, because both those teams got upset. FPX, Dragon X, and forget the other, TES. Okay. I'm going to start with a rant. Sorry if I'm ignoring your questions. If you guys are playing the correct way for contests, so double ups you shouldn't have cashed. These smaller GPPs you shouldn't have even cashed, because you should have relied heavily on cash plays and then a little bit of a mix of these recommendations I talked about on my GPP cheat sheet. But then for the bigger contests for GPPs, you should have been completely contrarian. So you should have been playing underdog matched with underdog, slight underdog matched with a big underdog. If you're playing these huge GPP contests, like let's say 150 max or 20 max, and you're going against 5,000, 10,000 people, your lineup should have looked so different from everybody else's that you should have been in the top 10% or top 1% of the contest. So that's the way you kind of need to attack these League of Legends slates. Based on the contest size, you need to really make your lineups look crazy, and that goes for every contest. So let's say today the chalk hits, then you shouldn't be taking down these GPP contests. You should be winning in your cash lamps and your smaller GPPs where you differentiate yourself. So I talk about this all on my Patreon tool, and it really does take practice. And if you guys have any questions about how to attack these slates in general, I will be more than happy to go ahead and talk to you guys about this. Also, I'm losing viewers, which means that you guys are probably running into a frozen screen right now. Yep, there it is. I can't see the stream. Just refresh your page, guys. Refresh the page. All right, so there's my rant. I will leave all of the kind of lesson learning for other videos, tutorial videos and other things like that. So let's go ahead and talk about the slate. I know you guys are interested in this slate. Let's go ahead and open this up. Let's go ahead and open this up with the Vegas odds. So we have Origin versus Rogue today. Origin comes in at minus 360. Rogue comes in at plus 250. It didn't end, guys. You just have to refresh the page. Refresh. Let me know if you guys are good, if you guys can see it. Refresh the page. Okay. So the first matchup is Origin versus Rogue. As far as Vegas odds, it looks like in terms of a matchup, this matchup's going to be more competitive than the Fnatic versus Mad Lions. I know we said that about G2 versus Mad Lions. G2 was minus 1,800 and they got upset by Mad Lions. I get that. But guys, they're also playing Fnatic. Fnatic is arguably just as good as G2. Arguably. I'm not saying they are, but you can make an argument that Fnatic could contest G2 this year. Okay, so they're playing another powerhouse, and their Mad Lions is minus 500. Now, in terms of, like I said, the matchup, Origin and Rogue should be more competitive. What we know for DFS is that we like these games, Rogue, Origin. We like these games to be very competitive and rack up a lot of kills. I don't really care what the end result is, and we saw this the other day with Mad Lions and the EU Masters League, where Mad got upset. They were minus 500, but they ended up putting up 16 kills, and I ended up cashing in everything, including GPPs, just because of the amount of kills. And the same thing kind of bodes for this matchup for Origin and Rogue. If it does stay close, which we are hoping, this game could result in more kills, or this matchup could result in more kills than the Mad Lions Fnatic game. Fnatic, if they 3-0 their opponent, which they should, 3-0, 3-1, but Origin and Rogue goes 3-2. And again, we know how unpredictable these League of Legends slates are. Yeah. You see me with the Red Bull. Yep, this stream is sponsored and research sponsored by Red Bull. By the way, I will get up my CSGO projections in about 30 minutes or so, okay? So don't worry about that. I know that I have a lot of people in my DMs worrying about the CSGO cheat sheet. It will be up. So we're basically focusing on if this Origin Rogue matchup will outscore Fnatic Mad Lions. It probably will not. But your GPP leverage is going to come from this game. Probably not Mad Lions. The reason is because you have to have Mad Lions, 1, beat Fnatic, 2, put up a ton of kills, okay? And that's probably, those two things are probably not going to happen versus Fnatic today. I'd say it's more likely that Origin and Rogue just have a normal back and forth game than Mad Lions is to upset Fnatic, okay? But with that being said, Fnatic and Mad Lions actually average more kills in general. So I'll go over my cheat sheet real quick. Average kills per game for Mad Lions is 14.9, and Fnatic puts up 15.3. To compare that to Rogue, Rogue puts up 11, and Origin puts up 12.8. Now, that's based, you have to take in consideration this is based on a matchup, or these historical average kills per game are based on overall their opponents. So, you know, Mad Lion against Fnatic is probably not going to put up 14.9 kills. Origin versus Rogue might put up more than 12.8 because they're used to scaling up and they're used to basically outsmarting their opponent all the way to the end, and that's when they get their final kills. However, Rogue's going to be probably more aggressive with Origin and vice versa. So Mad Lions and Fnatic does play at a higher pace, but that favors Fnatic more than likely. It probably will, because Fnatic, if Mad Lions decides to be more aggressive, well, Fnatic's a better team. They'll probably take advantage of it. Now, again, like I said, League of Legends is very unpredictable. So, yes, you can stack Mad Lions in these huge GPP contests with the hope that they upset yet again. It could happen. Yes, it could happen. But I do not recommend it for cash. What you're looking at for cash is, first of all, you're looking at your favorites. You're looking at Origin and Fnatic, and you're looking at Fnatic as the 4 stack, and you're looking at Origin as the 3 stack. For a contrarian build for GPPs, you're looking at a Rogue / Fnatic stack or an Origin / Fnatic stack, and the odds keep moving here. So it looks like Origin's going to keep moving up. It looks like all the sharks are going to be hammering Origin. Origin should win. So however you want to mix up your Fnatic Origin build should get the job done at the end of the day. If Origin does go to 5 games, then yes, that is probably optimal for GPPs. If you want to lean more on Origin, or vice versa, if you want to go more Fnatic's going to be higher owned. I'm not going to say the exact percentages on how owned because I save that for the Patreon, and I give my exact favorite stacks on Patreon, but that is a general strategy. You want to lean on Fnatic for cash and Origin, and then you want to go contrarian for GPPs. Obviously, Mad Lions is going to be extremely low owned, and I'm getting an update. Why is that happening right now on my stream? And you want to rely on somebody like Rogue or Mad Lions for these crazy big GPPs, and with the hopes that you take them down. If you play Fnatic and Origin in a huge GPP, if it does win, you're going to tie with virtually every single person on this 2-game slate, and honestly, you might not even make profit. It's getting that way for League of Legends. So you want to differentiate yourself, maybe change up the captain. I know the optimal captain is going to be Blippo. It's going to be Blippo with an Origin stack and Fnatic stack. So that's how that's going to look. Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. I know there's 40 people watching now. Please hit that like button. I appreciate the support. All right, so for you guys who are just now joining, I was talking about how to and I know I lost a lot of you when we went frozen. So I'm going to go back over my rant real quick. Last night there was an extreme amount of upsets. Literally, I think almost every game it resulted in an upset. That generally doesn't happen. But if it does, guys, if you're playing DraftKings right, you should have still made money. And the reason is this because if you're putting your cash lineup in with FPX and TES and a little bit of Dragon X, you probably didn't cash, or you probably split with a bunch of people. Okay, you probably played your cash lineup correctly because you went with the favorites and you stacked as many as you could in your lineup. If you're playing in these smaller GPPs, less than 100 people, you probably went more the cash route, and you probably leaned on FPX with maybe some low-owned stacks. I recommended Dragon X as one of my favorite low-owned stacks. You probably didn't cash in that either. But if you're playing these huge GPP contests, guys, this is where you tend to be more aggressive. You shouldn't be playing your cash lineups in there. You probably shouldn't be playing your high-owned stacks in there. You need to be playing underdogs match with underdogs, underdog match with slate favorites, underdogs leaving $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 on the table. You guys should have been taking down GPPs last night. And for you guys who have not been, You are doing it wrong. And it's okay, because that's why we're here to help. That's why my cheat sheets are here. That's why I'm explaining ownerships. That's why I'm so heavy on ownerships, okay? Because last night was a great opportunity to leverage against the field, okay? All right, yes, if you balance, you can profit with it. Yes, and it depends on the contest selection. Contest selection is everything, and playing your specific builds and those contests is what differentiates you from the field. All right, so I think I pretty much covered. Let's go over position by position real quick since I don't have a video up. I will go ahead and talk about this. Obviously, FNC is going to be at the top in every position, but I'll talk about these lower owned guys. There's some... It's generally going to go FNC, Origin, Rogue, and then Mad Lions. So they go right, or Mad Lions and then Rogue. So there's a little bit of a difference there at the bottom two teams, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So Whippo is obviously the best play for cash at the top position. Alfari is second. Arome is third. Fen is fourth according to my projections. Going over to jungler, Selfmade is the best. Xerxes, obviously FNC OG. And then Mad Lions again, and then Rogue. For mid, it's going to be FNC, OG, Mad, Rogue. FNC, OG, Mad, Rogue. And I think this is where it gets different. Nope, still the same. FNC, OG, Mad, Rogue. Okay. And again, this is based on because of the fact that Mad gets up so many kills. So Rogue's going to come in at very low ownership, and I think that's a great leverage spot. Same thing with OG and Mad. If you feel really crazy, you can throw them into these really big GPP contests. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor. Like I said, this is only a 2-game slate, and I have to get out my CSGO projection. So I'm going to open up the floor for some Q&A. If you guys want to go ahead and put your lineups into the chat. If you guys want to ask any questions, I will answer all those questions right now. I know this is a small stream, but it should be because it's only 2 games. And it's very straightforward. So an OG RG stack, question mark. Depends. Are you playing GPP or cash? Because for GPP, yes, that's a very contrarian build. I don't think that will get it done. But again, if you're going to be playing a huge GPP contest, that is a great stack. All right, I know it's never optimal, but for GPPs, would you consider using a team at captain? That is the one thing I do not recommend. You should never use a team for a captain because you are capped for upside very much. There's a max amount of points that a team can score. It's like 30 points per game. For support, there's not a maximum amount of points you can score. For ADC, same thing for top. You guys can score an extreme amount of points, and you're capping your upside by putting a team at a captain spot. Just period. You should never do that. If you're going to go safer, you should at least play a support at the captain spot. OG versus Rogue. Who should I go with? Depends, man. I mean, ownership's going to be higher on OG, and the ownership's going to be lower on Rogue. Let me refresh my page to see if they actually have ownership projections. At least RotoGrinders does. I have mine. Nope, they don't. All right, so almost did a takedown, had a DMO BLG stack. Good call on Fox not reaching value, but also my thought. Fox, you mean FPX, right? Is it FPX? I have a feeling Mad will be higher owned than expected. What do you think? Well, according to my projections, Mad actually rates better than Rogue, which is not surprising, but it's very good for ownership, which means the Rogue ownership is going to be probably lower than we suspect. And yeah, I think the Mad ownership will probably be a little bit higher, but I think Rogue and Mad are virtually going to be the same as far as ownership. I think Rogue has, well, obviously they have a better potential for an upset, whereas Mad does not, but Mad has a potential for more kills. So like, let's say Mad and Rogue both lose, Mad will probably result in more points. If Rogue does win, obviously more points for them. Xerxes, a captain for GPP. Love it. Very different. Love that, Andrew. Yep. Very, very straightforward slate. Like I said, let's see if the odds are moving again. It was at minus 500, minus 345. Nope, still hasn't changed. It looks like it will sit about there. You gotta imagine all these sharks are sitting with their supercomputers and they are waiting for that line to move. They have a certain percentage they should be hammering the line at. So it looks like it should stay relatively the same right there, minus 345 and plus 240. And one question I keep getting asked is, do I think that League of Legends is getting fixed for matches? Well, I'm speaking on the facts. There actually has been match fixing. If you guys haven't heard about that, you need to go read the news, because somebody got booted off a team for match fixing. That wasn't recent. That was like 3 weeks to a month ago. I don't think there's match fixing, guys. I just think with esports in general, there's so many different factors, and you got to imagine that the skill gap and I know that's just based on personal experience, the skill gap for video games is so much lower than an actual sport. Like, there's only so many things you can do with an esport with video games, where with regular sports, I mean, there's more athleticism. Obviously there's upsets in regular sports, but that's the reason there's so many upsets for esports, just because, guys, there's really only a certain amount of things you can do. You have a keyboard and mouse right in front of you, right? Like, anybody can outsmart anybody on a video game. All right, got some more questions. Single entry, big GPP. What teams should I target? Big GPP, you should target the low ownership teams. I posted you should target the low owned stack, because I know you're a Patreon member. The low owned stack that I posted on my Patreon page, and mix that probably with FNC or OG. When playing a GPP with, say, OG Mad or FNC Rogue, should the underdog squad be the 4 instead of 3, depending on the size of the contest? I will say that. I know it's very generic, but again, if you're playing more than 1,000 people, you have to stack the underdog for the 4. You have to differentiate yourself. Even if you guys know, I mean, I'm sure there's been a ton of you that have been taking down some GPPs. And if you guys take down GPPs, you're tied with like 50 other people. Literally 50 other people. I can tell you right now, the optimal stack, I can tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be FNC and Origin and then Blippo at the captain spot. And you guys can probably fill out the rest. That lineup is going to be owned by probably 50% of the field today. I'm not kidding. It's totally a great lineup if you're in terms of just projections and ownership and looking at it. But will it get the job done? Probably not in a GPP at all, because again, there's volatility. You have to factor in all kinds of things in terms of ownership. Even if it does take it down, you're going to be splitting with about 500 other people, or 50 other people, not 500. All right. Since someone mentioned an OG RG stack, I'll just share mine. Captain, Upset, Finn, Jungler, Cersei, Larson, Reckless, Destiny, OG, very contrarian. Like that for a GPP. Nemesis or Nuke Duck? Nemesis rates better on my sheet. Just straight up Nemesis. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get off here in about 2-3 minutes. Guys, feel free to ask any last questions. Thank you so much for your support. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. I would appreciate it. Is it a good idea to pick a cheap captain so you can fit all the favorites that cost a lot more? For cash, yes. Even for some GPPs, it's really dependent on who you're stacking. But I'm assuming you're playing cash, since your terminology there is getting a bunch of favorites in there. So like you're probably trying to get FNC in there. Yes, it's a good idea to get a cheap guy in there at captain for sure. All right, guys, this has been fun. And you know what? Like I said, for my Patreon tool, I post my LEC stuff. I'll be posting a CBLOL, which is the Brazilian League of Legends. I'll share my my edge on my Patreon sheet, and of course my CS:GO projections will be up in about 15 to 30 minutes. I do all of that on my Patreon. So if you guys, I know you guys, most of you are free people. You guys are just subscribed to the channel. I don't do a video on every single thing because there's only so much time in the day that I can really do things. So if you guys want to benefit and all that, $20 a month, and you guys get all of the contests that I break down, and I give an edge on every single slate and custom projections. So thank you so much, Adam. Yeah, show some love to our mods too. I know it's been actually pretty quiet recently. We're in a rough patch there for a little bit where we just had people coming in the chat and just spamming stuff. So thank you guys for showing your support and being calm. And I know this is a rough time for the world, so I appreciate that you guys are not showing hate, at least here on my channel. And I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. No more questions. So again, very straightforward. I gave you my overall breakdown of the slate. It should be very straightforward. For cash, just go Origin and Fnatic, more Fnatic, because they should get the higher amount of kills. Origin does play at a slower pace, but they should win. Okay, so 4-3 stacks. You guys know my love for 4-3 stacks. I'm just going to keep hammering that into your head. 4-3, 4-3, 4-3, 3-3-1 if you guys are feeling crazy. But I'll go ahead and get off, guys. Thank you again for your support. Have a great rest of your Friday and a great rest of your weekend. I'll be posting all my stuff, especially my videos, of course. I'll be posting an LPL, LCK breakdown later today. Of course, that is at 2 a.m. It looks like there's going to be more playoff games this weekend, so I'll be going live before lock for those as well. And with all that being said, guys, let's cash. Have a great rest of your day.